I retired a while ago and settled in the little quiet and quaint beach town of Santa Cruz in California, within a stone's throw of the boardwalk opening onto the Pacific Ocean. The famous Highway 1 runs through this town from Big Sur Mountains on one side and Monterey Bay and beyond to the Golden Gate Bridge on the other side. The farmhouse is beautiful with flowers, vegetables, fruit-bearing trees such as apple, lemon, peach, plum and pomegranates. I'm VR Sampath, aka Sampath Ramanujan, a retired Indian Police Service officer, PhD in English Literature and MFA in Creative Writing and Consciousness, US. Come, subscribe to my Absurd Conversations channel. Click the buttons to like, share and get notified. Comment and keep watching. Who am I? This is not a philosophical question. Just more details about myself, in case you are interested in knowing. Hi Mind Explorers, welcome to the Absurd Conversations channel. I am Sampath Ramanujan, ex-All India Services Officer, Corporate Security Advisor and Consultant, author of the book Restless, The Chronicles, MFA in Creative Writing and Consciousness, including philosophy, cosmology, religion and spirituality. Freelance writer on cybersecurity in popular newspapers and magazines. A member of Cybersecurity Policy Group at Stanford University. And lastly, an admirer of UG Krishnamurti's ideas, who is fondly remembered as UG. I will be referring to him and his ideas frequently in my conversations. Sharing information appears to be the dharma of the times we are living in, and so I wish to follow this dharma, to come out of my shell and share what I know. I kept my avid interest in learning throughout my life. Did Masters and PhD in English Literature and a Masters in Consciousness and Creative Writing here in the US. The first part of my book, Restless, deals with my life, including my career and my family, and the second part about my search in life. The foreword to the book was given by the then retired National Security Advisor of India and the Governor of West Bengal, Mr. M.K. Narayanan. This channel can be considered as part 3 where my search ends. I had opportunities in my career to live and work in the Himalayas and was fortunate in spending time with sadhus and gurus, including the likes of Kainchi Baba of Gwalior, among other anonymous sadhus. My introduction into the so-called inner life started with accidentally listening to G.I. Krishnamurti as a 20-year-old at his Greenways Road abode in Chennai. He was speaking about life, love, death and mind. Made little sense to me at that time, but it succeeded in starting an incoherent inner chatter. The demands of life were pressing and I moved on. My next encounter was with a book written by one Dr. Kenneth Walker on another philosopher called G.I. Gurdjieff. I was totally taken in with his and his followers' works, including those of P.D. Uspensky and Maurice Nicoll. Thereafter followed many philosophies, including those of Yogananda, Aurobindo, Osho, Ramana Maharishi, Krishna Menon, Eknath Easwaran, Carl Jung, UG Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, Aldous Huxley, William James, Rudolf Steiner, and many more. Simply put, I was indulging in a shopping spree in the spiritual bazaar. Simultaneously, I studied my religion and sincerely followed for several years what it said, which mainly consisted of an assurance of a great afterlife. The tool used was devotion, an unflinching devotion called Mahavishwas, and other specific rituals. The culture in which I grew up was full of material from religion in areas such as dancing, singing, temple god worship, and ancestral worship. Homes had small puja rooms devoted to pictures of gods and other practices. Certain other tools, in addition to devotion and bhakti, are yoga, meditation, and prayers. These, it is believed, helped in keeping the herd in shape and control. In short, I have been through it all. On the one hand, I had a responsible job as a police officer, other jobs with Indian billionaires, and a family to bring up. And on the other hand, the lifelong studies of religion and philosophy. I served all over India, traveled widely, and now settled in California. Gurdjieff says you cannot sit on two stools. That is what I have been trying to do by practicing religion on the one hand and reading spiritual texts as above on the other. While the former relied on faith, the latter called for inquiry. I retired a while ago and settled in the little quiet and quaint beach town of Santa Cruz in California, within a stone's throw of the boardwalk opening onto the Pacific Ocean. The famous Highway 1 runs through this town from Big Sur Mountains on one side and Monterey Bay and beyond to the Golden Gate Bridge on the other side. Within 50 miles are the towns of Cupertino and Sunnyvale, where the tech giants of the world, Apple, Google, and Facebook, have their headquarters. I sit in the backyard of the farmhouse with friends and discuss life. The farmhouse is beautiful with flowers, vegetables, fruit-bearing trees such as apple, lemon, peach, plum, and pomegranates. The discussions continue on the Santa Cruz boardwalk or the Marine Heights trekking trails with spectacular view of the Golden Gate Bridge below, and sometimes in coffee shops in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, with dream makers. These years, I did not seek regular work. Gurdjieff insisted on hands-on manual labor before hoping for spiritual advancement or whatever you call it. I do just that around my home, doing utensils, cleaning, washing, and watering the garden. This is phenomenal for me, considering the fact that my line of work brought along considerable manual support in the past. Looking after grandchildren and playing with them is, of course, a bonus. It also gives me plenty of opportunities to regurgitate the knowledge and life experiences I have had in my life. It has taken over a decade to unwind and wash away the conditioning my work and family life imposed on me. Now I feel free to a large extent of these influences of my past. The space which has been created in my psychology by doing away with many of the activities of the past is immense. You may call this freedom, realization, self-realization, enlightenment, etc. But I call it just the space. In this space, I see things and concepts as they truly are. Out of all the philosophies I read and understood, the ideas of UG Krishnamurti stood out distinctly above everything else. I felt it was close to truth than any other philosophy, especially in the 21st century. This is important considering the long life behind me, during which I developed a sense for reality. The ideas I am sharing here on this channel have been given a final shape by UG's approach to life. But the background I laid before coming to his teachings was very important for my understanding. The soil, so to say, was fertile enough to catch the points given by UG and grow in me. While my earlier attempts were akin to beating around the bush, UG showed me the elephant in the living room. The questions I had were, who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going to? What is life? What am I doing with my life? And who is asking these questions? The great minds of the past were no doubt trying to figure out what life is all about. All scriptures, doctrines, and philosophies are just models, aspirations, and projections of life created by them. None of them uncovered the so-called ultimate truth, though many would vouch for it. I don't. This is my personal opinion. UG was the only philosopher who said, truth is beyond humans, irrespective of the efforts made. Why am I seemingly against the established systems, culture, society, institutions, etc.? Why am I seem to denigrate established norms, accepted customs of thinking, and long-revered factors like God, religion, spirituality, and philosophies? The answer is deconditioning. Conditioning runs our lives. Right from before birth until we die, conditioning creeps up on us, layer after layer, brick after brick. By the time we reach adulthood and much later, the conditioning becomes so thick like an Antarctic ice slab, enclosing and imprisoning us. We look at life through this ice slab, a blurred vision of things. We are never able to see the true nature or color of people and things. The other person too is looking at you through this encasement of conditioning. This is a stalemate, a curse. And we live and die inside this living casket, never knowing what freedom is, what life is. UG used a sledgehammer to break this ice, literally, with his ideas. When you break the ice, you cannot spare one side or the other. You break it blow by blow, inch by inch. That is what I'm trying to do. Strike at the systems and break the encasing and release us into true freedom. From this freedom, you choose what to do with your life, not from your conditioning. No offense meant. All this while remaining in life and doing nothing against the society. That is very important. Thank you.